Shabbat Shalom. Today we're talking about the last parasha of the Torah, of the book of Bereshit, Parashat Vayechi. Parashat Vayechi finishing the first chapter period of the Jewish nation, our three fathers and the 12 tribes that were the sons of Yaakov. Yaakov living in Egypt for 17 years. Those are the best 17 years of his life, the best years of his life. And he starts saying goodbye. The name of the parasha is Vayechi. Vayechi means, and then he lived. And it's very interesting. He lived in Egypt. How come the best years of Yaakov, the father and the father, Israel, his name is Israel, as all the Jewish nation in his glory, his name is Israel as the father Israel. So the best years of Yaakov, of Israel, were in Egypt. The first exile was in Egypt. So this is very interesting to understand. But the best years were in Egypt, and then he started calling all the sons and even his grandsons, and he's blessing them. Every son get a specific blessing, special blessing according to his abilities, according to his powers, according to his talents and weaknesses. Everything is fit. Why? Because you all my sons, you all received from me, but every person have his own purpose. In the beginning of the parasha, Yaakov giving blessings to his two grandsons, Menashe and Ephraim, the sons of Yusef. Menashe and Ephraim were very special. They are the two sons of Yusef. Yusef was the most important son of Yaakov. He was the king. He financially and spiritually was the person that continued his father's work in his way, of course. He was responsible for all the tribes in the Jewish nation when they were in Egypt, and he were the person responsible for all the world, even if we're talking about food, and also in spiritual level. The two sons of Yosef, Menashe and Ephraim, were the only grandchildren that were born in Egypt. The only ones from the 70 people that considered the close family of Yaakov that were born in Egypt was not born in Israel. And Yaakov giving them a special blessing. First of all, he's telling them, you in my eyes like my sons, not my grandsons. What does that mean? First of all, it means that they got upgrade if we're talking about to be considered for the 12 tribes. So the tribe of Yosef is divided to two, to Menashe and Ephraim. It's not called Yosef tribe. It's divided to two. The two sons are like the 12 tribes. Okay. But not only that. They are very special also spiritually. Then Yaakov giving them blessing. So we all know the famous episode, Yosef putting Menashe to the right side of Yaakov and Ephraim to the left side. Why? Because Menashe was the oldest and Ephraim was the youngest. Yaakov giving the blessing, and when you give a blessing, you put your hand on the head of the person that you're giving blessing to. Yaakov putting his right hand in the left side and his left hand in the right side and giving the blessings to Menashe and Ephraim. Yosef is very sensitive to this. Why? Yosef coming from a family that have many fights in the family. If we start talking about his grandfather Yitzchak had a brother Ishmael. They didn't get along, and his father himself did not get along with his brother Esav. His mother Rachel did not. They did get along, but it was very not simple. Rachel and Leah, the two sisters, two wives of Yaakov. And if, of course, this is not enough, Yosef and his brothers, Yaakov loved Yosef, and they they took it very, very harshly, as we all know the story of the selling of Yosef. So Yosef see his father putting the right hand on the youngest and the left hand on the oldest. Not only you can change the boys, you don't need to change your hands. You can put both hands on each one of them. You don't need to do this trick. Yaakov himself was very important, was very sensitive to the firstborn rights. He himself bought it from his brother, Esav. How come Yaakov putting his right hand to Ephraim and his left hand to Menashe? What does that mean? So, what is Menashe and Ephraim? So we learned about Menashe and Ephraim in previous parasha 2 weeks ago, that we're talking about Yosef having his 2 kids in Egypt. The first kid is Menashe. What is Menashe? Yosef explained, because Menashe is from the word Nashani, I'm missing my house, missing my place. This is the first child. I'm missing my house. I am forgotten. I'm forgetting. I'm alone. This is Menashe. Ephraim, it's the other side. Ephraim means I'm getting stronger and bigger here. This is place of my work. This is my future. Those 2 children obviously representing 2 sides of Yosef's life and each person also. There's a story, someone, very big professor in Israel, was not religious, was not only not religious, he was really, really against religion. And he told this story to one Chabad rabbi, that he sent a letter to the Rebbe. In the letter, he told the Rebbe, hi, big rabbi, I wanted to ask you, how come you, learned person, learn in Berlin, in Paris, in very, very big and important institutes, and you heard the very big professors, and you know the truth, you know that all these fanatic customs are nonsense, are not important. How come you teaching you Hasidim not to learn in university and only Torah? How come you doing that to them? You open your eyes and they staying in the darkness. So the Rebbe answered him in a letter. 2 things. First of all, I'm very happy I got your letter. I was happy to receive and to feel that you're feeling open to tell me what you're feeling. It was very nice to see that you're really open to me. The second point is, I saw that your family name have roots in one Hasidic community and have roots in one Litvish, non-Hasidic community. From which side, what source is your family? From the Hasidic or non-Hasidic? This is what the Rebbe answered him. He told the rabbi, you understand what the Rebbe did here? This professor telling the Chabad rabbi. The Rebbe did not answer my question. He just gave me a light to remember where I'm coming from. And my questions were self-answered. I was not I didn't need an answer. Why? Because the Rebbe showed me the sources. Every person from time to time or every day need to remember, like Menashe, where I'm coming from, what I'm missing, what is the source of everything, what is my power, what is my education, what is my roots. But Ephraim is the opposite. Ephraim is what is my purpose here, what is my abilities here, and what more I can do, and what will be my future. Ephraim is a whole different world of acting, world of vision, and we know that Yosef was the biggest visionary. He saw years ahead, and he knew what to do, and it was very new. It was something different. All the tribes were shepherds, but Yusef was the king. And there is a story, it was not a story, it was a very big thing that many rabbis and many Jews wanted to remember the Holocaust by adding another chair to the Seder table in Pesach. Empty chair to remember all the people that we are missing. The Rebbe was not happy with this idea. The Rebbe said, you should add more chairs and you should put people in those chairs. Because by adding empty chair, you're staying in the past. You should have more chairs and more people, and then by them to remember the past, to remember what we lose and what we need to achieve. And this is the core of everything. We need both of them. We need Menashe. And it's important because we need to remember what is our purpose, what we're representing. When a person doing mitzvah is continuing a chain of 3,000 years, of millions of people that died, of suffering, of hundreds of exiles in communities, of executions, of sorrow. Why? Because you need to do this more action. That was the purpose of all this hour to our generation. But to stay in this, it's not a life. It's nothing. We moving forward. This is the whole story of success of the Jewish nation. The Jewish nation know that the mission is to connect the chain and to continue it to the future. This is the power to build, not to hold a grudge, to know that everything is from God, and to continue building and building. And this is also in everyday's life. In the morning, we should take time for ourselves to remember our purpose. That's why in Jewish people, waking up in the morning, first of all, say thank you. My soul came to me today as new from heavens. Came from heavens, now let's use it. Let's use it to impact, to change. Yakov know the sensitivity of himself and the sensitivity of Yusef about firstborn. But Yakov telling Yusef, you should put the focus on the future. You should put the focus on the future. And you should remember the past, but the focus on the future. That's why the strong hand, the right hand, in Ephraim, and the left hand, the less strong hand on Menashe. With this, we will also understand maybe what was the secret of Yaakov. The best years of Yaakov were specifically in Egypt, in far place. Yaakov then coming to the peak of his life. What? All his children is with him. No one is missing. Everybody is important. Everybody is special. But every one of the children know his specialty, his purpose, his mission, his power, his abilities, and everybody connected to the source, to Yaakov. And that was the life of Yaakov himself. Yaakov had a very long journey in his life, a lot of stories and mysteries, and throughout every place that he was, every station that he stopped, he had those two sides, where I'm coming from and where I'm going to. Those special powers, unique powers, were the secrets of Yaakov's survival. And Yaakov, the best years of him in Egypt, it means that even when I am Egypt and all my family is here, and no one changing his way, this means success. How we know that Yaakov succeeded in his work? Because even though all his family is with him in Egypt, everybody is close to the sources, mean that we are able to achieve more by staying connected to the source. Shabbat Shalom, and let's do it as much as we can, influenced by staying connected to our roots. Shabbat Shalom, good news.